ओके सो दिव्या, ये आपका किसके लिए है? इसरो के लिए, राइट?
यस सर, इसरो के लिए।
ओके ओके सो दिव्या, देन लेट्स गो अहेड with your mock for ISRO. So please briefly introduce yourself to us.
Sir, my name is Divya Sarup Pandey. I did my engineering from NIT Durgapur and graduation from Uttar Pradesh. And currently, I'm working as an executive design engineer in electro-pneumatics in a strategic project division. And mainly, my work is from 3D modeling to drawing creation and then manufacturing and then releasing for manufacturing. And a major project I did in electro-pneumatics are designing of hydraulic cylinders for Mission Shakti and electromechanical actuators for ATAX gun, which has a world record of firing of 48 kilometers. And I have designed two humanless rovers for defense only, for DRDO.
Okay. So when did you complete your BTech?
BTech is in 2014.
2014, okay. And so currently you are working in some organization, right?
Yes, it is in Pune, yes.
So for how many years you are working over there?
4 years.
4 years. Okay. And in this organization you are working as a design engineer, right?
Yes,
and,
it is. Yes.
And that is mainly related to the defense projects.
Yes, correct.
Okay. And so you are designing the products as per the requirement sent by them, or they already design?
No. As per the sometimes they send the requirement and we design it. Sometimes they send a raw designed component, then we design it for manufacturing as well as assembly purpose.
Okay, design for manufacturing. Oh, what is the meaning of design for manufacturing?
The design for manufacturing means whatever we are designing, it should be manufacturable. If suppose we have given a square slot, if that thing can be we can deal it with a hole, circular hole, then we replace that rectangular cutout with a circular hole. So it will it is easy to manufacturable. If we go with a rectangular hole, then we have to use EDM machine, and for that circular hole we can use either a milling or a drilling machine. So these type of things comes under design for manufacturability.
Okay, so and you are saying you have already done some kind of modeling and kind of analysis also, right?
Model drawing creations, like it is 3D modeling, then analysis, then drawing creation, then releasing for manufacturing.
So what about the analysis part?
Analysis part comes under if it is if they have asked for analytic solution, then we provide the analytic solution to the system, as well as they required FEA, then we do the FEA also.
So you have worked in FEA also, right?
Yes.
So what are the inputs normally that are given in the FEA?
Sir, we generally give the what are the materials we are using for the system. First is material. Then we provide the boundary conditions. Then we go with the mesh size. What is the mesh size? What is our requirement? What accuracy we need in our system? What accuracy we want in our results? If we want more accurate, then time of computation will be very high. So we have to manage in between the results. So these are the inputs we provide to the FEA model.
So I'm talking about the design inputs. For example, you have to carry out the stress analysis, right? And let us say if you have a component which is subjected to, let us say, torsion and bending. These are two loads to which that component is subjected. So what are the inputs that you need to provide? Design inputs, so that it can give you a reliable result.
We provide the boundary conditions. Yes, sir. Sir, we will provide the boundary conditions. First, we will assign the material. Then we provide the boundary conditions. Then boundary conditions will be what is the value of torque, what is the value of bending, and where it is supported.
Okay, so what material property you need to give?
Then we provide the mesh size, and then we, like, if it is a ductile material, we generally go with 1 Mises stress. So this will be our results, and the calculative part will be taken care by the PA.
So you have a choice of choosing a particular theory of failure for the analysis. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
So you're saying that. So you're saying that, okay, for ductile material you go for the von Mises, right? Okay, so before I go ahead, can you let me know these material inputs that you need, or a kind of material properties details that you need to provide?
Yes, sir. See, in like ANSYS Workbench, it has a predefined library of materials. So we have to provide, like, if we are going with like steel, if our component is made of steel, then we go with structural steel. We provide an input to as a structural steel, and whatever input we provide, it depends upon the strength of the material. So result will be same for all materials, but we have to check it with the whatever our strengths of the material are. Suppose we are getting a stress of, because this stress depends upon the geometry of the material, and strength depends upon the property of the material. So providing material is not that at all important at that time. So accordingly we do it, like betting, sir.
Okay, so why you go for von Mises? You are saying that it's a ductile material. Okay, let's say if it's a brittle material, so you will go with which theory?
Sir, we will go with principal stress theory.
Okay.
Rankine theory.
Okay, so why for ductile materials go with the von Mises theory? Why not maximum shear stress theory?
Sir, because it is experimentally proven that like von Mises give a more accurate result, whereas this maximum shear stress theory is kind of like it is overestimated. It overestimates the results.
Overestimates in what?
Overestimates in the sense like so this is the graph for these two theories, and this hexagonal shape is our for maximum shear stress theory, and this is the ellipse for our von Mises theory. So for this part, like some part like von Mises, that maximum shear stress theory is not able to capture these parts in between the straight line and the ellipse part. So that part is also taken care by the von Mises also. In that reason, our component can fail by maximum shear stress theory.
A component can fail as per maximum shear. So how it is going to influence this your outcome? So okay, if I talk in terms of let's say economics point of view, which one is more economical?
7, then we will get Sir, von Mises is economical.
Why?
Sir, as per maximum shear stress theory, our allowable stress will be allowable shear stress will be 0.5 times the yield stress. Whereas in our this von Mises theory, it is 0.57 times the yield stress. So if we calculate the area, so area will be coming, of cross section will be less in maximum shear principal von Mises theory. So it will be economical in terms of cost of the material.
No, but the allowable value of the stress for any particular material, that is a constant value. It is not like this theory says this is the allowable value of stress, particular stress. It is a material dependent. It is a material property. So what it has to do with the particular theory?
But sir, the design stress will change. Like for different theories, the design stress will change. So
that is okay.
Accordingly, the cross section area will also change. Yes, sir.
Kind of, if we say that it's a material property, right?
Yeah, it is a material property. But for it is a material property, it like yield stress of material is fixed. For steel, it is fixed. But as per the theories, like the design criteria of these, it will be changed. Like for whatever the required, that allowable stress will change. Like it is for shear stress, so it will be 0.5 times of the yield stress. For one massy, it will be 0.5 times of the yield stress.
Mhm. Okay. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. That is the you have also designed the hydraulic cylinders, right? You were mentioning some kind of mechanism that you
Right.
have used.
Yes.
So, what was its application? Hydraulic cylinders, basically for firing and for purpose, right?
Sir, no, sir. It is for erection of the missile. Sir, it is like first it will be in a horizontal position. To articulate it to vertical position, we have to apply some force. So that force is provided by these cylinders.
Mhm. Okay. So, how do you design it? Have you designed it based upon considering it as a thick pressure vessel or thin pressure vessel?
Sir, we have designed it as a thin pressure vessel because like it's a diameter size, like a ratio of ratio of diameter to thickness is in between 10 to 20. It was around 15. So we have considered it as a thin cylinder, and then we designed it for both static as well as dynamically.
Mhm. So, based upon static conditions, what was the required diameter? Let's say, how much difference is coming in terms of the dimension that you need to take?
Actually, sir, these are the whatever the material we have selected, they are the standards material. So these are the bore size, and these are the these are the predefined sizes that are available in the market. So based on that, we select our pressure. What is the pressure we have to provide so that the system will move.
No, but that is okay. My point is,
Yes, sir.
that means you cannot have the same size of that particular cylinder to carry the dynamic load as well as the static load. In both the cases, you will carry out the calculation. The requirement
Yes,
will be
yes.
different.
Yes, correct, sir.
So that difference must be there, right?
Yes,
when you may
yes.
have calculation or analysis, you may have got certain value.
Yes,
So
yes.
what difference normally that you find in this case?
So that I am not remembering the values, but I will note it down for my further. But sir, actually, for dynamic part, we have designed based on the endurance limit of the system, and for a static part, yes, sir. So
let me
for
a very basic question: do we really need to design this for dynamic loading?
yes, sir, we need it for because that system is subjected to from maximum stress to minimum stress. When it is at a position of horizontal, then we have to apply a maximum load for it to start. When it starts moving, then the CG will shift to the axis of that rotation. So so from maximum to it will reduce to the zero. So this type of cycles continuously we are changing it from maximum to zero, then again maximum. So this fluctuating loading we have to take care.
So basically, this erection of that what was this, a missile platform, right?
Yes, sir.
Erection of the missile platform.
Yes.
So
sir.
you're not using it very frequently, right?
Yes.
You're not using it maybe testing, maybe in between for testing purposes and all that, or that part. So that means number of stress cycles that it will be subjected to will be relatively less.
Yes, sir.
Let us say, even if you consider a lifetime of normally, what is the lifetime for which that component system is designed?
Sir, life cycle is we can calculate the number.
Lifetime for that system is.
Sir, it is around maybe like 50 hours in a year. So it is very less, because we for only for testing purpose it is used. After that it is kept for, because there is no war, so we are not using it for testing purpose. It was around 50 hours per year.
So number of stress cycles. Okay, you must have, while designing, you must have given the consideration. Okay, throughout its lifetime, let's say you are having an artillery gun, and it has to operate. Let us say, so you must have carried out the calculation, that dynamic loading calculation, based upon the estimated number of stress cycles. Did you design it for infinite number of stress cycles or finite number of stress cycles?
Sir, we have designed it for finite number of cycles.
So how much?
Sir, we can calculate it from, sir, near about 600 to 1000 cycles.
600 to 1000 cycles.
Yes, sir, 10 to the power 3.
So aren't they too less?
Yes, sir, it is less, but it is not required, sir. Requirement is not, because if we go with an infinite number of cycles, then the material, the design, we have to change it. Then we have to modify the system. Will get bulkier, like it will get bulkier. So that is not a requirement. It will hamper, like we then transporting cost will increase. So as per requirement, number of cycle is less.
So I hope you may be having the idea of, like, you are having in the SN curve, you are having high stress and low stress, this classification, high cycle fatigue, low cycle fatigue.
Yes,
right?
Sir.
So
Yes, sir.
have you designed it for a high cycle fatigue or low cycle fatigue?
Sir, we have not considered it for like a high cycle or low cycle, but it will come under low cycle fatigue only.
Low cycle fatigue mean
Because after 10 to the power, more less than 10 to the power 3 cycles.
No, high cycle fatigue means what?
Maybe there's a like high cycle fatigue. No, sir, I'm not able to capture. Like I have to check it for what it is designed.
So for the cycles less than 10 raised power 3, normally we call it as a high cycle fatigue.
Okay. So that then I am yes. So it will be high cycle fatigue. Yes.
So load is too high. Load is too high, but number of stress cycle it will be subjected to be less.
Yes.
So what I understand is, in this case, load will be significantly high.
Yes. So it is a high cycle fatigue only.
So in that case, the design criteria is entirely different. But
yes,
if it is low cycle fatigue, then we make use of the SN diagram. After 10 raised power 3 to 10 raised power 6, that line we make use of that.
But sir, we in high cycle fatigue also we are getting a slope down, so we can find out the endurance.
No, but endurance strength in any case, it is going to be over there. That it is going to remain same. The procedure, yes. But I think it is not the same procedure that you follow. Yes, so what procedure did you follow?
Like sir, we have the material, like strength of the material. Then what was
anyway,
our yes sir.
Okay, Divya, I will discuss with you. Okay, and can you? So is it a case of fluctuating load or completely reverse load?
So it is a fluctuating load. It is not a completely reverse load.
So then, which theory did you use, or which particular method did you use?
Sir, we have used Soderberg method.
Why Soderbergh? Why not Gerber?
No, sir, I don't know.
Okay. So, okay, Divya, so we'll discuss it at the end of the this.
Yes.
Okay. And now over to Vishal, sir.
Yes, hello, thank you, sir. Hello, Divya Sarup. So,
Hello,
Divya
sir.
Sarup, you are going for ISRO. Yes, hello.
Yes.
So, Divya Sarup, why ISRO?
Sir, ISRO because while working in this company, in this current organization, I have achieved few goals. So I wanted to convert it at a bigger platform because I'm not getting that much bigger platform because sometimes like a requirement, we get the requirement. So we are not able to design it further. We have a boundary set. So we have to design in between it. So I'm not getting opportunity to learn more. Like whatever we get from whatever we get input, we have to work under that boundary only. And another reason is I am kind of astrophile, so I like stars and all these like astronomical things. So and that like this area like it attracts me. So this is the one reason.
So, can you tell us something about the launch vehicle, Divya Sarup? What do you mean by launch vehicle?
So launch vehicles.
Yes.
So like we have a generations of vehicle. We started with with our currently we are in GSLV. Before that we were in PSLV, and
Yes,
and before that we are in ASLV. So GSLV is like it is a latest generation, like it is a geosynchronous satellite launch vehicle. So it will rotate along with the rotation of the Earth. And polar satellite launch vehicle are the satellite vehicles. Like the satellite will rotate along the polar only. So these are the launch vehicle ISRO is using.
What is the orbital? No, I just actually asked you what do you mean by launch vehicle. I'm not asking you about the satellite. Launch vehicle and satellite, these are two different parts. So
yes, sir. These are the vehicles which launches the satellites. These are the vehicles which launches the satellite in those orbits, like in geosynchronous orbit, and this PSLV launches the satellite in PSL orbits. That is why they are named as per PSLV and GSLV.
yes. So if you talk about a geosynchronous satellite, can you tell me what will be its orbital period? उसका orbital period क्या होगा?
Sir, 24 hours.
24 hours means same like the Earth. You want to say?
Yes.
So what is the difference between geosynchronous and geostationary? You heard about geostationary also?
No, sir. I have heard, but not able to recollect.
Okay. So can you tell us the recently launched satellite by ISRO?
Recently launched satellite.
Because I am expecting answer from you. You mentioned you are very much you like those stars and all. So I think
yes.
Actually refer to these kind of news related to ISRO.
Just I'm forgetting the name. I have read it like it starts with C. I guess I'm not recollecting it.
Okay. So is that was navigational satellite or communicational satellite?
No, sir, I don't want to
So
make
what is the
guess.
difference? What is the difference between these two?
Navigational satellite and communication satellite.
Communication.
Sir, navigational satellite is basically like uh, it useful for
There
us
is a
to.
particular name also. There is a
Yes.
particular name, Indian navigational system.
Yes,
Can you
yes,
tell me the
yes.
name also? Name of that navigational and communicational satellite.
So I guess Navik is the name of the satellite.
Navic is a program. Yes, okay.
Navik program,
le-
and so it is like it is navigational satellites are used for like for like for location wise we can check our locations, and that input comes from the satellite. And communication satellite, the satellites which used to transfer communications from one location to other locations.
Mhm. Fine. So my last question from this particular part, can you tell us something about the Gaganyaan and MOMS mission?
Gaganyaan mission. So Gaganyaan mission is a mission in which ISRO is planning to launch a few astronauts in the space for a period of 7 days, and then bring back them safely to the Earth's surface. And in that Mars orbiter mission, that is MOM, and it was like ISRO has sent a that orbiter to the that what to say to the orbit of the Mars to check the what is the surface condition from that. It was not a surface, like we have not landed.
So, what did they launch? They launched some kind of satellite or what?
Yes, sir. So it was an orbiter. It was not a satellite. So it has set. Yes, sir. So it
when
was
they
an
launched,
orbiter.
when they launched that probe, kind of probe actually.
Yes,
So
it was a
India was
probe.
the first Asian country who actually entered into that region. First Asian country.
Yes, sir. So I'm not able to recollect the dates. I will note it down so that it can help me. Yes.
Okay. Yes. Some basic you need to know. What are different type of satellite, INSAT, and this
Yes, sir.
communication and this NAVIC
Yes, I will.
satellite,
Yes, sir. I will
and the
definitely. Yes, sir.
these
Yes.
things. You know. Okay. Acha, you're comfortable with those kind of we can say drag force related things you studied somewhere?
Actually, I have studied it, but right now, after my college, I am more into designing part. So my area of subjects are more into that designing, that strength of material, machine design. So I have read it, but I will not be that much comfortable because I can deliver only that whatever we have read. But whatever right now I'm doing, it is a practical. So I'm more shifted toward this strength of material and production and all. So that too, I am not if they ask me my favorite subject, then also I will go with these subjects only, because
Strength
it
of
can
material
create
mechanics.
like a problem for me. Yes, it can create a problem because they will dig into the subject and they will think I'm having experience of that thing also, and it can hamper me. So I will say I will not in touch with these subjects too much. So but yes, sir, you can ask. I will try to answer it.
Okay. Acha, if I will ask you a very simple question from this only, you can try to recall what is drag coefficient, Divya? You heard about drag coefficient?
Yes, sir. Drag coefficient. So the drag coefficient.
That is like you designed some kind of rovers also you mentioned. So if streamline body, somewhere you heard
Yes,
streamline body.
yes, sir. Streamline body.
So
Yes,
how
yes,
you
yes.
can define a streamline body?
So streamline bodies are the bodies we it is a intentional surface we provide so that there will be a smooth flow of the fluid, so that there should not be any uh, like uh, uh, what to say?
Pressure drag.
Flow separation should not be there. Flow separation should not be there.
Yes. So flow separation
So
causes
it can change the
pressure drag.
trajectory. If
So what do you think? The drag
yes.
coefficient is high or low for that streamlined body?
So it will be less for streamlined bodies.
It will be less.
Sorry. No. It will be maximum. It will be maximum for streamline.
Maximum or less? Again, I'm giving you a chance to think.
The maximum I will like. Maximum.
No, it is very low actually.
It is.
Yeah.
It
is very low. Because we design a streamlined body so that there will be no flow separation, there will be no pressure drag actually. So pressure drag is very less. So drag coefficient is very less. Drag coefficient means what? Like suppose a body, if it is having blunt shape, a body which is having blunt shape, and if you are moving that body in the air, or suppose that body is stationary, air is moving, or air is stationary, the body is moving, that air will exert a large amount of force on that body, and it will restrict its motion. That is drag only. The force exerted by the air on the body when the body is moving along the air. When it is having blunt shape, it will offer more drag force.
More drag
coefficient will be high.
Yes.
And if it is having some streamlined shape, then the drag coefficient will be less.
Yes.
Okay. If I will ask you one question from physics, Divya Sargu, like suppose if I will give you some weight, okay, and you want to move it on some height. Okay. So which one is good? It is good to pull that weight, or it is good to push that weight? Which one you prefer, and why?
It is a very basic question. We like in school we used to get this question. So pulling is easier. No, so the push is easier. But reason I'm not able to collect.
Okay, take it as on a flat road only. Flat road. Then pushing or pulling?
So pushing only.
Can you draw the FBD? FBD for pushing?
Yes.
Yes. Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Sir, okay.
Just draw.
So this is the direction of our push, and this is the friction we are getting.
Actually, we apply force at some angle. Suppose some kind of force that you need to take some inclined force, something like that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So what will be the normal reaction in this case? Frictional force. What will be the frictional force?
Sir, frictional force means it is like the product of friction coefficient. So in this case, if we are applying it in the direction, so normal will increase. Component of normal will be accumulated. It will be added to the weight component. So
frictional force is more or high? More or less? Friction will increase.
So it will be more. It will be more.
And same if you will apply the similar force while what you can say at same some angle, and if you will pull it,
is opposite.
Can you draw again? Can you again draw?
Yes.
Can you again draw?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So what will be frictional force in this case?
Sir, friction force will be less. The normal component, the same normal component. Out some part of the weight.
If you will consider the case when you are actually applying force perpendicular,
yes.
With the same case. But generally, when we are applying force, it is at some angle. So that's why
which one is easy? Yes. If our direction is same, like if direction is parallel to the ground, then both will be equal. That pull and push. And if generally, like if we take a practical example, then we'll play.
because
Yes.
there is some kind
So-
of object you are pushing, so we are not
Yes,
actually
yes,
pushing
yes.
like that. Okay.
Yes. So,
Okay, so Divya Swaroop, you heard about thermodynamics. Thermodynamics आपने पढ़ा है थोड़ा बहुत. Like, if I will relate it with your domain, although it
yes.
is not of your domain, you
Yeah.
are not in that area.
Yes,
You,
sir.
you okay.
Yes.
So can you tell us something about the second law of thermodynamics?
Second law of thermodynamics tell about the like directional constraint. So in which direction the cycle will progress. So second law tells directional constraints of the process.
So what is the difference between first and second law?
So for conservation of energy, so conservation of energy, if some heat, if they provided some heat input, so for like
Just tell me the difference.
we have
How
provided
first
some
law,
heat input.
how Divesh, you just tell us the difference. How second law is different from first law?
So first law tells us how the process will occur, and the second law tells us in which direction it will occur.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. My last question is to you. Diva, can I ask you a question from engineering drawing and graphics? Just
Yes,
a simple question.
yes.
So, can you tell us the difference between the orthographic projection?
Yes, sir.
Uh,
Orthographic projection.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Orthographic projections are the projections in which we use to represent like the part at 90 degree, whichever we are, which surface is our concern. So we will project it as 90 degree. So this is known as orthographic projection.
Orthographic projection. But if I will talk about isometric, diametric, trimetric, these are not orthographic projection.
No, sir, these are not the orthographic projections. Like isometric is not like we are not projecting it as 90 degree. So,
So in what category those type of projections fall?
this not able to.
Okay, so isometric projection, it's a like how it is different from diametric. Okay, my last question. My last question is to you, Divya Swaroop.
Yes,
What is the difference between that multi-view orthographic projection, okay, and this isometric projection? That is multi-view actually, which you mentioned. Projectors are parallel and they are falling perpendicular to the surface.
Okay. Sir, and multi-view, like we are like in one projection, we are able to see one surface, but in isometric, we can see other surfaces too.
In isometric also, the projectors are parallel, they are falling perpendicular to the plane of projection. So it doesn't mean actually you thought the surface projectors are falling perpendicular to the surface. No, projectors are parallel, that is a kind of parallel projection, and projectors are falling perpendicular to the plane of projection, like vertical plane, horizontal plane. And in multi-view orthographic projection, what we are doing, we are placing the face parallel to the plane of projection. That's why we are getting single view, single face.
Okay.
There is a multi-view what you can say orthographic projection.
Okay.
So in that case, like suppose the projectors are parallel, they are again falling to the perpendicular to the plane of projection. But suppose you rotated the object with some angle and different ways,
Okay.
isometric, diametric, trimetric. Then what will be the difference?
Yes.
You will get a three-dimensional shape.
Three-dimensional shape. Yes, correct.
Yes, but the projection is same. Projection is orthographic only. But it is not orthographic multi-view.
I'm using these projections from my 4 years, but now I have to like every direct definitions of these at least. So
Yes,
otherwise.
So are you getting Divasulu, what I mentioned?
Yes, sir, I got it. Yes.
Orthographic,
Yes, sir, I got it.
multi-view and.
Yes, sir. Surface will be parallel to the plane of projection, and so that is why we are getting 2D projections and isometric and diametric. Our surface will not be parallel to, so we are getting a three-dimensional view.
Yes. But projectors, the source is at infinite distance. Projectors are parallel.
Yes.
And
yes.
Okay, fine. Divasulu. I think yes. Over to clients. I think we can give feedback.
Okay, Divya. So okay. So see, जैसे आपको पहले ही बताया था, most of questions are going to be related to your domain, जिसमें आपकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग वहीं से चीजें आगे बढ़ेंगी. जो आप चाहते हो जिस डायरेक्शन में इंटरव्यू लेके जाना वो शुरू में बता दिया तो उसी डायरेक्शन में मूव करेगा. बट सी जो प्रैक्टिकल डिजाइन है ना उसमें बहुत सारी चीजें हम एक काइंड ऑफ वो बना है, क्या बोलते हैं जिसको प्रोसीजर बना है, एस्टैब्लिश
एल्गोरिथम सर.
हाँ कि मैंने इसको ऐसे डिजाइन करना है, ऐसे फॉलो करो, ये स्टैंडर्ड्स हैं, ये लो, वो करके सॉफ्टवेयर है डाला, उसने अपना काम कर दिया और आपका रिजल्ट आ गया. ठीक है, दैट इज हाउ वी अप्रोच. तो वो एंटायरली डिफरेंट रहता है जब हम थ्योरेटिकली उसको लेके जाने की कोशिश करते हैं. जैसे मैं चला गया कि हाँ FEA में, फिर आपने बोला जी, तो वो इंटरेस्टेड होगा उसके बैकग्राउंड में, थ्योरेटिकल बैकग्राउंड में, और जहां जहां मिसमैच आपका प्रैक्टिकल और थ्योरेटिकल में होगा वहां पर वो आपको ग्रिल करने की कोशिश करेगा. एज सिंपल एज दैट. जो लूप होल जहां पर जिसको आपने ध्यान नहीं दिया होगा, जो आप एज ए ट्रेडिशनल कन्वेंशनल वे में वहां डिजाइन कर रहे होंगे, तो वहां पर जो थ्योरेटिकल जो एक लूप होला वो उसमें आपको बार बार वहां लेके जाएगा और वहां पर आपको ग्रिल करने की कोशिश करेगा. अच्छा, ये FEA में जैसे आपने कहा कि वॉन माइसिस थ्योरी यूज करते हैं, ओवर एस्टिमेट द रिजल्ट्स करती है. अगर बहुत ही लेमन लैंग्वेज में बोलना हो ना तो मैं कहूंगा कि आप ये बोलोगे वॉन माइसिस थ्योरी जो है ना एक्चुअल रिजल्ट के बहुत क्लोज रिजल्ट देती है. कंपोनेंट है में कोई स्ट्रेस अप्लाई की, चाहे कॉम्प्लेक्स स्टेट ऑफ स्ट्रेस भी है, पर जिसमें वो फेल होगा और जो आपने वॉन माइसिस थ्योरी के थ्रू कैलकुलेट किया होगा वो दोनों वैल्यूज बहुत क्लोज है.
यस सर.
स्ट्रेस थ्योरी वो है थोड़ा सा
यस सर
होगा. अब फॉर एग्जांपल अगर हम क्या करते हैं तो एक्यूरेट कौन हुई ज्यादा, आपने जैसे बताया था कि वॉन माइसिस थ्योरी ज्यादा एक्यूरेट है, तो लेट अस से दोनों थ्योरीज को पैरेलल कंपैरिजन करने फैक्टर ऑफ सेफ्टी मैंने सेम लगा दिया, और सेम फैक्टर ऑफ सेफ्टी लगाया तो ऑब्वियसली जो अलाउबल वैल्यू ऑफ स्ट्रेस की बात कर रहे होते वो क्या होगी, एक केस में ज्यादा आएगी, दूसरे में कम आएगी. तो इसका मतलब कि सेम साइज ऑफ द कंपोनेंट कैन कैरी लार्जर वैल्यू ऑफ द स्ट्रेस, whereas the beneficial stress में lesser value of the stress. So that way economical क्यों हो गया, सेम साइज ऑफ द कंपोनेंट आप जो है वो क्या कर सकते हो, लार्जर वैल्यू ऑफ स्ट्रेस कैरी कर पाएगा. क्यों? क्योंकि वो रिजल्ट्स एक्चुअल के एक्यूरेट थे, तो आपके लिए सेम फैक्टर ऑफ सेफ्टी पे जो है वो आपने जो उसको अच्छे से डिजाइन कर दिया. इवन दो आपने मुझे वो बता दिया, जैसे आप ले आए मुझे उसे 0.57 मोर और लेस, वो भी ठीक है, तो उसमें भी मतलब वो नहीं है, पर उसमें फिर आपको धीरे धीरे उसमें जाना पड़ेगा. ला सकते हो वैसे, बट अल्टीमेटली ओवरऑल एक लेमन लैंग्वेज के टर्म में अगर आप बताना समझाना चाहो ना, वो समझा सकते हो अच्छे से. इकोनॉमिकल है वो आपने बोल दिया, क्यों इकोनॉमिकल है वो सेम सेंस है. अब जब डिजाइन एस्पेक्ट में चले गए हम, उसमें थोड़ा सा लोचा है बहुत ज्यादा, क्योंकि वो जो आप कर रहे हो और जो थ्योरेटिकल है वो मैच नहीं कर रहा है बहुत ज्यादा.
यस सर, मैंने नोट कर लिया सर, मैं उस पे अभी वर्क करूंगा.
तो इसको क्या करो, जो ये फटीग वाला है ना, इसको थोड़ा सा एनालिसिस कर लो. वो आपसे सिंपल क्वेश्चन पूछ लेगा कि आपने हाई साइकिल फटीग है तो कैसे डिजाइन कर रहे हो, क्या डिजाइन प्रोसीजर. मेरे ख्याल से जस्ट अगर आप देखोगे जो ट्रेडिशनल बुक्स हैं उसमें वो केवल इतना बोल के छोड़ देता है कि उसके लिए अलग तरीके से वो प्रोसीजर करता है, क्या है उसके बारे में बात नहीं होती। आप
ओके
थोड़ा सा देख लो, क्योंकि आप
है
वो
सर।
काम कर रहे हो, अगर कर रहे हो तो पूछेगा कितना, ये कितने साइकिल्स हैं, इतने कम साइकिल्स क्यों, आपको पूछेगा कि कितने साइकिल्स के लिए आप डिजाइन करते हो। अभी कैलकुलेशन थोड़ी सी आपकी जो बहुत क्लोज आनी चाहिए, उसको अकॉर्डिंग, चाहे आपने गलत भी बोल दिया, मान लिया क्योंकि वो आपने अपने एक्सपीरियंस के बेसिस पे बोला, पर वो फिर कैलकुलेशन जो मारोगे आप बताओगे ये रफली इतना हुआ और इतना हुआ, वो और उसकी एस्टिमेशन, क्योंकि वो भी एस्टिमेट करके बैठा होगा अच्छा इतना, और कहीं अगर उसके पास इंफॉर्मेशन होगी तो वो मैच करेगा, उसको कहीं मैच नहीं भी दिखेगा, तो वो ढूंढेगा, वो उसमें पूरे देगा आपको, ढूंढेगा कि वो कह रहा है ये जो आप बोल रहे हो और वो जो समझ रहा है उसमें मिसमैच चलता रहेगा, और उस मिसमैच में वो खींचता जाएगा। तो कोशिश ये करो कि उसको पहले ही ये सारी चीजें, कितने लाइफ साइकिल्स के लिए, अच्छा आपने बोला कि कंप्लीटली रिवर्स नहीं है, मान लिया मैंने फ्लक्चुएटिंग में मान लिया, फिर आपने सॉडरबर्ग बोल दिया, वो आपने ब्लफ कर दिया। ये कहानी वही है, सॉडरबर्ग और गर्बर की कहानी वही है जो आपके ऊपर गाई थी, किसकी, वॉन माइसिस की,
वन
और
माइसेस ऑफ मैक्सिमम शेयर।
ये वही है।
यस करेक्ट।
तो अगर आप वहां पर मुझे जस्टिफिकेशन दे रहे हो, यहां पर कॉन्ट्राडिक्ट कर रहे हो, समझ रहे हो, लॉजिक उसी लॉजिक पे ये भी है।
यस सर।
गर्बर इज मोर एक्यूरेट, कर्व है वो, और सॉडरबर्ग सेफ है, जैसे
sir.
आप बोल रहे हो मैक्सिमम शियर स्ट्रेस थ्योरी ज्यादा सेफ है, सेफ है तभी तो आपका अनइकोनॉमिकल डिजाइन है,
Yes,
ज्यादा
sir.
डायमेंशन रहेंगे। तो यहाँ पर भी सेम लॉजिक आपने अप्लाई करना है। तो ऐसी सिचुएशन नहीं क्रिएट करनी है जहां पर आपका लॉजिक कॉन्ट्राडिक्ट हो, पकड़ लेगा आपको कि वहां कुछ और बोल रहे हो और यहाँ पर ब्लफ कर रहे हो। तो मेरे ख्याल से थोड़ा सा ध्यान दो, ये वाला पार्ट जो फैटिग और डायनेमिक लोडिंग के लिए डिजाइन करोगे, दो पार्ट मैंने बात की थी, इवन नहीं भी कर रहे हो, नहीं भी कर रहे हो, एक जो कन्वेंशन है वो फॉलो कर रहे हो, बट आप उसको थोड़ा सा कन्विंसिंग बनाओ कि ये अप्रोच जो अप्रोच फॉलो करते हैं क्यों करते होंगे, उसका भी आंसर आपको मिल जाएगा अगर आप वो प्रोसीजर फॉलो कर भी रहे होंगे, अगर आंसर ढूंढना चाहोगे। थोड़ा सा उस लाइन
Yes,
पे
sir.
लेके जाओ जिस लाइन पे मैंने आपसे क्वेश्चन पूछे, क्योंकि वहां पर पॉसिबिलिटी एग्जिस्ट कर रही है कि आप फंस सकते हो बीच में। ठीक है, तो इसमें कोई क्वेरी तो नहीं है आपकी कोई और?
Okay.
दिव्या?
नहीं सर, मेरी क्वेरी नहीं है इसमें सर। मुझे बस एक क्वेरी थी, लास्ट टाइम मेरा कभी आपके साथ ही इंटरव्यू हुआ था और विजन, तो उसमें क्वेश्चन था कि यंग्स मॉडुलस वाला एक क्वेश्चन था कि बस सारे स्टील के लिए सेम रहता है क्या, नहीं रहता है? तो मैंने चेक किया तो ऑलमोस्ट लिखा है कि वो सेम रहता है, और बट आंसर जो मतलब कि आपने कहा कि कुछ चेंज होता है जिसकी वजह से बकलिंग लोड चेंज हो जाता है, क्योंकि अगर यंग्स मॉडुलस चेंज नहीं हुआ तो सब स्टील के लिए एक रहेगा। तो वो एक्चुअली एग्जैक्टली रेफरेंस नहीं मिल रहा है मुझे।
यंग्स मॉडल सेम हो ही नहीं सकता, देखो ना,
क्योंकि सर क्योंकि सर क्या होता है कि जो मैंने देखा है कि सारे ग्राफ जो होते हैं वो पैरेलल जाते हैं और वो बाद में चेंज कार्बन कंटेंट के डिपेंड अपॉन द कार्बन कंटेंट। मतलब सर एक ही लाइन, मतलब दे आर कोलिनियस लाइंस, लाइक द इनिशियल स्लोप विल बी सेम फॉर ऑल लाइंस, some after some times they will bend to give other like stress strain curve in plastic zone, but initial that Young's modulus is same। तो वो मैंने चेक किया सब जगह, मतलब बुक्स में भी, इवन भी चेक किया, उसमें भी है। तो वो मुझे अभी भी डाउट हो रहा है कि ये करेक्ट है कि कैसे, मतलब कि
देखो
क्योंकि इस टाइप का क्वेश्चन इसरो पूछता है। बिकॉज देखो
बहुत सिंपल सी बात है, स्ट्रेस स्ट्रेन डायग्राम जब हम बात करते हैं, मान लिया मैंने डिफरेंशिएट कैसे करना दो मटेरियल्स में, दो मटेरियल्स के बीच तो
एक्चुअली सर क्या है, मैंने जो पढ़ा था उसमें क्या लिखा था कि जो कार्बन कंटेंट्स होते हैं वो इतना ज्यादा इन्फ्लुएंस नहीं करते हैं आयरन के बीच की प्रॉपर्टीज, इतना होता है वो स्ट्रेंथ में इम्प्रूव करते हैं, लेकिन इनिशियल जो प्रॉपर्टीज होती है ना, जो इनिशियल इज द टाइम ऑफ स्टार्ट व्हेन वी अप्लाई लोड, तो इनिशियली वो इतना ज्यादा नहीं होता है, इसलिए आयरन के जो बॉन्ड जो डिस्टेंस होते हैं वो मतलब कि उसमें उतना इफेक्ट नहीं होता है कार्बन का। When we increase it further, we go beyond elastic limit, then carbon comes into picture। तो ये ऐसा मेंशन था उस टाइम पे, तो मैंने फिर उसको नोट किया, बुक में भी चेक किया। अभी आप मतलब कि आपसे फिर से भी एक राउंड और बचा इंटरव्यू का, तो फिर हम लोग इस पे डिस्कस कर लेंगे एक बार सर, क्योंकि
देखो क्या है, जैसे क्या है ना, स्ट्रेंथ में बहुत ज्यादा डिफरेंस आता है, आप देखो वैसे ही।
यस सर, वो करेक्ट है।
और मान लिया अगर मैं आपको बात करूं कि 0.001% कार्बन, ठीक
Okay.
है, और दूसरा मैं ले लेता हूँ लेट अस से 0.2% कार्बन, 0.2.
Okay.
So 0.001% कार्बन और 0.2% कार्बन, बहुत बड़ा डिफरेंस है. स्ट्रक्चरल
sir.
स्टील के लिए मैं 0.2% कार्बन यूज कर सकता हूँ, 0.15 स्टील यूज कर सकता हूँ. जहां पर ऐसी एप्लीकेशन है जहां पर ड्रॉ ज्यादा है, मतलब मुझे ड्रॉ करना है कंपोनेंट को, वहां पर मुझे ड्रॉबिलिटी चाहिए, तो मुझे कार्बन कंटेंट बहुत कम चाहिए, तो आई मे गो फॉर 0.001% ऑल्सो.
Yes,
अब
yes.
इसके बीच अगर डिफरेंस देखोगे स्ट्रेंथ का, बहुत ज्यादा सिग्निफिकेंट डिफरेंस है. आपका लॉजिक हो सकता है होल्ड कर जाए, आपका लॉजिक होल्ड कर भी जाए, मान लिया लेट अस से अगर आप बोलो 0.001 और मे बी लेट से 0.005,
Okay.
मे बी लॉजिक काम कर सकता है. आप बोलोगे बहुत ज्यादा चेंजेस नहीं आए, क्योंकि जो केवल एडिंग कार्बन कंटेंट बहुत ज्यादा उसकी वैल्यू को चेंज नहीं कर रहा है. बट इन दो में 0.2% और 0.001% में तो आप वैसे देखो स्ट्रेंथ का दिन रात का फर्क आ जाएगा. स्ट्रेंथ का फर्क आ गया तो ऑब्वियसली जो स्ट्रेस और स्ट्रेन आएगा ही आएगा. और बढ़ा दो, कास्ट आयरन की तरफ चले जाओ, तो उसमें तो बहुत
कास्ट
ज्यादा
आयरन में तो चेंज होता है, कास्ट आयरन में चेंज होता है सर, वो
हाँ,
करेक्ट है.
हो सकता है अगर आप बोल रहे हो कि एक पर्टिकुलर बैंड ऑफ कार्बन परसेंटेज मान लिया है, उसमें
Okay,
मे बी
okay.
बहुत ज्यादा सिग्निफिकेंट चेंज नहीं आती हो ई में.
Okay, yes sir. Yes sir, फिर यही रीजन है, यही रीजन रहेगा. Yes sir.
हाँ, तो इसको एक बार क्रॉस वेरीफाई कर लो.
Yes sir.
बट अगर अब मैं आपको एक जनरल क्वेश्चन रेज कर देता हूं, तो आपको जो है फिर थोड़ा सा इसको इस तरीके से हैंडल करना पड़ेगा.
नहीं सर, ओके ओके, आई गॉट इट. मे बी कार्बन परसेंटेज को लेकर ही कि उस बैंड
जैसे
में
क्या
वो
है,
सेट है.
जैसे मैं बताता हूँ माइल्ड स्टील है. माइल्ड स्टील में आप रेंज देते हो 0.15 टू 0.2%,
0.25. यस सर.
ठीक है. तो उसमें अगर आप बोलते हो कि जी मॉडुलस ऑफ इलास्टिसिटी इसका माइल्ड स्टील का इतना है 210 व्हाटएवर यू जो भी आप बोल रहे हो, तो अगर उस रेंज में बात कर रहे हो तो मे बी वो लॉजिक होल्ड कर सकता है जो आप बोल रहे हो. मे बी बहुत ज्यादा सिग्निफिकेंट चेंज नहीं आई तो उसने एक वैल्यू दे दी. बट जहां पर मैं जो अगर मैं लोअर एंड पे चला गया, जिसको अल्ट्रा लो कार्बन स्टील बोलते हैं हम, ऑटोमोटिव एप्लीकेशन है,
स्टील बोल.
ऑटोमोटिव एप्लीकेशन में जहां पर ड्रॉबिलिटी की रिक्वायरमेंट है, तो वहां तो कहानी कुछ और हो जाएगी. ठीक है.
ओके सर.
ओके, सो ओके नाउ ओवर टू विशाल सर.
Yes, thank you, sir. So, Divasrup, I asked initially some questions from that recent missions of ISRO. What do you mean by that? Communication satellite, navigational satellite. तो थोड़ा बेसिक इसके बारे में पढ़ लो आप, है ना, क्या क्या होते हैं. रिसेंटली क्या मिशन था अभी लॉन्च जो किया है, फरवरी में था, अमेजोनिया 1 करके एक सिंगल PSLV था. लॉन्च व्हीकल इज वन, बट
Okay,
दैट
okay.
लॉन्च व्हीकल एक्चुअली इंजेक्टेड 18 सैटेलाइट्स. तो 28
okay.
फरवरी को शायद वो लॉन्च हुआ था, तो यू कैन चेक. एंड अदर देन दिस यू नीड टू नो बेसिक्स अबाउट डिफरेंट सैटेलाइट्स मिशंस. इंडिया की जो भी है, मॉम्स है या जो गगनयान है, गगनयान यू आंसर्ड. मॉम्स का भी आपने बताया तो ठीक, वो एक काइंड ऑफ प्रोब था, बट व्हेन इट वाज लॉन्च्ड डेट आपको थोड़ा सा आइडिया होना चाहिए, ईयर जो भी है 13 14. ओके, एग्जैक्ट डेट के साथ यू कैन मेंशन दैट. ओके, अदर देन दिस
गगनयान का इसलिए बता पाया बिकॉज एक प्रोजेक्ट चल रहा है इसरो का, मेरे मतलब मेरे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में, गगनयान 2 का. यस,
गुड.
so we are providing some hydraulic actuators to them for the mission this Gaganyaan. उसके मुझे वो थोड़ा सा कलेक्ट था, तो but I will
this is first yes, first input that I can give you. Just go through these basic details about ISRO missions and what is actually happening today, and जो उनके important missions रहे हैं वो भी थोड़ा सा आपको उसके बारे में पता होना चाहिए. Second, I asked you some questions from drag and lift part, because that is also I think related and important. उसमें ब्लेंडर मिस्टेक नहीं कर रही है. स्ट्रीम लाइन बॉडी यू डिफाइन, बट एग्जैक्टली यू नीड टू डिफाइन व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय streamline body. Why you are saying it is streamline? So then you can go into the streamlines. Now, what are streamlines? What are path lines? And fluid mechanics का कुछ related part you can add in that. तो basic आपको पता होना चाहिए. You cannot say कि because that you are appearing for some scientist post, and I think that is based on your BTech eligibility, na BTech mechanical. So they are not hiring any kind of expert. I think this time they are not hiring any kind of expert
Yes.
like design expert or RAC expert. So don't. It is good you are having some experience, and you will have advantage of that, and surely they will give you advantage of that. But don't highlight, don't represent yourself like that only, na? So basic knowledge you need to have of all
Yes,
other
sir.
subjects.
एक्चुअली सर रीजन क्या हुआ है, रीजन ये है कि अभी तक मेरा ऑफिस चल रहा था और
हाँ।
मैंने अभी लीव ली है प्रिपरेशन के लिए. सो आई एम कंटिन्यूअसली लाइक अभी जो सब्जेक्ट क्लियर हो रहे हैं वो मैं इंटरव्यू देता जा रहा हूँ. अभी कुछ सब्जेक्ट्स पेंडिंग है, रिवीजन बाकी है. सो आफ्टर दैट आई विल गिव अनदर मॉक, सो आई विल बी प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर दैट. एंड सर और एक रिक्वेस्ट थी कि अभी जैसे थर्मोडायनेमिक्स एंड फ्लूइड्स और विजेंद्र सर भी आज शायद नहीं है पैनल में. सो मेरा लास्ट मॉक रहेगा, तो लाइक मंडे आई विल बी टेकिंग इट. सो अगर तीनों एक्सपर्ट्स रहते तो और एडवांटेज रहता, सो दैट वी कैन हैव अ. ठीक है सर.
That you can request to Kavita madam actually. Whenever you will request for your full mock, Kavita madam को बात करना कि मैम please try to request all mentors so that timing matches all will be there. ठीक है.
Yes.
For that you need to request Kavita madam. Other than this, yes. So other than this, Divesh, I asked you some question from that. I think project also either thermodynamics also. Okay. Thermodynamics का question मैंने पूछा आपने, you defined, but that actually is reflecting कि you are not having ideas. This time you have not recalled all those things. So basic things you need to know. First, second law, how these are different. Sir,
yes sir, yes complete.
First law tells us about we cannot create energy, sir. Energy को हम बना ही नहीं सकते. Only what we can do, we can convert one form of energy into another form. So input is required, sir. Without input, output is not possible. Output का मतलब क्या होता है? Some form of energy. आउटपुट पॉसिबल नहीं है बिकॉज वी कैन नॉट क्रिएट एनर्जी. हम एनर्जी बना ही नहीं सकते. तो इनपुट चाहिए हमें आउटपुट के लिए. सेकेंड रूट एज वेल, इवन वी आर हैविंग इनपुट, वी कैन नॉट कन्वर्ट एंटायर इनपुट इनटू आउटपुट. मींस 100% एफिशिएंसी इज नॉट पॉसिबल. ऑलवेज देयर इज आउटपुट विल ऑलवेज बी लेस देन द इनपुट. सो व्हाट इज द मैक्सिमम आउटपुट व्हिच वी कैन गेट? व्हाट इज द मैक्सिमम वर्क व्हिच वी कैन गेट? ऑल दोस आइडियाज वी विल गेट फ्रॉम द सेकेंड लॉ. अवेलेबल एनर्जी का कांसेप्ट आ जाता है. कार्नोट इंजन का एक कंसेप्ट आ जाता है. मैक्सिमम एफिशिएंसी कितना ले सकते हैं. कार्नोट एफिशिएंसी इज नॉट 100% बट मैक्सिमम का कंसेप्ट आ जाता है. डायरेक्शन का कंसेप्ट आ जाता है थ्रू एंट्रोपी. ए रियल प्रोसेस अकर इन द डायरेक्शन ऑफ इंक्रीज इन एंट्रोपी ऑफ द यूनिवर्स. तो थोड़ा थोड़ा आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि दे विल आस्क मोर डेप्थ क्वेश्चन. इस क्योंकि ये आपका डोमेन नहीं है और पूरा जो ड्यूरेशन है, देखो ऐसा नहीं कि इसमें जा नहीं सकते, जाने को तो जा सकते हैं, बट व्हाट आई फील योर मेन डोमेन इज इन डिजाइन. ओके, सो मेजरली क्वेश्चन यू विल फेस फ्रॉम दैट. तो 30-35 मिनट उनको उस पर लग जाएंगे. दैट्स व्हाई फॉर सेफर साइड एक्चुअली यू नीड टू प्रिपेयर फ्लूइड एफएम. फ्लूइड एफएम तो आपको करना पड़ेगा, है ना?
यस यस.
बेसिक यू नीड टू कवर. दीज आर द फीडबैक्स फ्रॉम माय साइड. दिवेश, आई थिंक लास्ट क्वेश्चन मैं आपसे पूछता हूँ क्योंकि वो आपसे रिलेटेड था थोड़ा सा. वो मिस्टेक नहीं करनी चाहिए थी आपको. ऑर्थोग्राफिक प्रोजेक्शन. अभी देखो दो तरह के प्रोजेक्शंस होते हैं. दो तरह के प्रोजेक्शंस होते हैं. एक होता है पैरेलल, एक होता है पर्सपेक्टिव. पैरेलल का मतलब कि जो प्रोजेक्टर्स हैं, आप प्रोजेक्टर पता होना चाहिए ना कि प्रोजेक्टर्स क्या होती हैं. इमेजिनरी, दीज आर द इमेजिनरी रेज व्हिच आर कमिंग आउट फ्रॉम ए सोर्स. ऐसा बिलीव करके चलते हैं ना, तभी तो हम शैडो प्रोजेक्ट करेंगे. तो जो प्रोजेक्टर्स हैं, प्रोजेक्टर्स आर पैरेलल टू ईच अदर. अगर प्रोजेक्टर्स पैरेलल होती हैं एक दूसरे के तो उसे हम क्या बोलते हैं? पैरेलल प्रोजेक्टर. अगर प्रोजेक्टर्स इंक्लाइंड हो, कुछ ऐसे हो, तो उसे हम क्या बोलेंगे? पर्सपेक्टिव प्रोजेक्टर. पर्सपेक्टिव प्रोजेक्टर को यूज करते हैं फोटोग्राफी में. अब पैरेलल प्रोजेक्टर दो तरह का होता है, ऑर्थोग्राफिक, ओब्लिक. ऑर्थोग्राफिक में क्या होगा? प्रोजेक्टर्स आर पैरेलल एंड दे आर फॉलोइंग परपेंडिकुलर टू द प्लेन ऑफ प्रोजेक्शन. प्रोजेक्टर्स पैरेलल परपेंडिकुलर टू द प्लेन ऑफ प्रोजेक्शन, तो ऑर्थोग्राफिक हो गया. ठीक है. और ओब्लिक में क्या होगा? प्रोजेक्टर्स आर पैरेलल बट दे आर इंक्लाइंड टू द प्लेन ऑफ प्रोजेक्शन. तो ओब्लिक में तो ठीक हो जाएगा जो ओब्लिक में बात करें, बट आइसोमेट्रिक, डायमेट्रिक जो हमारा ये प्रोजेक्शंस है, these are also orthographic projection because projectors are parallel, they are falling perpendicular to the plane of projection. Is that clear? ओब्लिक के साथ आपने मिक्स कर दिया था, तो ऐसा मिस्टेक नहीं करना है. थोड़ा सा टाइम लेना है सोचने का and then you need to answer. Sir, both are orthographic projection. Only the difference is in orthographic multi-view projections, we are getting one view at a time. We are placing the plane surface parallel to the plane of projection, so we are getting a 2D view. Isometric में क्या हो जाएगा? We are actually rotating the object such that when parallel projectors fall perpendicular to the plane of projector, we will get a 3-dimensional shape. तो ऐसा आप इसको डिफाइन कर सकते हो। बाकी ठीक है, थोड़ा सा ये जो मैंने इनपुट
Okay.
दिया है, फ्लूइड का, ड्रैग फोर्स कंसेप्ट, इंजीनियरिंग ड्राइंग, जो जो भी रिलेटेड चीजें हैं उसको थोड़ा सा रिप्रेजेंट करना है और टाइम जरूर लेना है, और एक एक्सप्रेशन ऐसे नहीं देनी कि यू आर नॉट गेटिंग द आंसर। ठीक है, कॉन्फिडेंट रहना है। ऐसा हो सकता है कि इंटरव्यू दे कैन आस्क यू एनीथिंग, तो स्टार्ट में आपका कॉन्फिडेंस बहुत अच्छा था, बट आई थिंक आफ्टर 15-20
मेरा
मिनट्स
क्या हुआ
थोड़ा
कि
सा लैक ऑफ कॉन्फिडेंस हुआ।
कुछ क्वेश्चंस जो आज अभी सकलानी सर आपने जो पूछे, वो
हाँ।
क्वेश्चंस मैंने अभी कि ये सब प्रिपेयर करना है, एंड
हाँ।
जैसे ही वो क्वेश्चंस आया मुझे समझ में आया कि ये पेंडिंग ही रह गया है, ये उसी पे क्वेश्चन आ गया, तो वो चीज प्रिपेयर करनी है। इस क्या है, बाकी का जो भी रह गया है सर नेक्स्ट टाइम।
बाकी यू आर mature candidate, you are having experience, so surely they will give you advantage. Be confident, be energetic, and try to cover the maximum part which you can. Okay, so
yes sir, okay.
good luck and keep preparing.